Hello, everybody. This is Dee from Dee's Cute and Crafty, and I am back with another fall video for you today. This is my fall series, and this is video number 6 in that series. Oh my goodness, I have so much I want to share with you guys, and it, it's overwhelming. It is. It's just a lot, but it's also gorgeous. I had such a hard time choosing out of the three. So let's just jump in. I'm going to be using these sweater pumpkins from Dollar Tree. I have the green ones, orange, and the neutral color. I have these little white beads. They kind of like buttons. I have some picks from, I believe they came from either Hobby Lobby or Joann's, those little white prickly ball picks. These leaves are a combination of Joann's and Dollar Tree. And this little, I call it a Japanese lantern kind of bush. And that came from Walmart. And then I have some boxwood greenery from Walmart as well. Pulled that from my stash. I have the Hello Autumn sign from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of, I think, 6. I have 2 jumbo craft sticks from Walmart. And I have one of the Dollar Tree truck signs. We're just going to make it a little cuter. Going to give it a facelift. So start out by pulling off the little raffia bow and the metal leaf. Set that to the side. We'll use it later for something else. And then what I want to do is show you my paint. I forgot to tell you I'll be using the Apple Barrel White, the Waverly Moss, the Hello Hobby Black, and then the Folk Art Silver. And it is actually a glass paint, but it worked for this, so I guess it's more than just glass. You can use it for other things. So now what I want to do is just draw out the shape of this window all the way down into those pumpkins just a little bit because we're going to cut this out. This was not easy to cut out, you guys. I used my X-Acto knife like I do for everything, but I had to go around it several times. So if you've got a cutting tool that can make this work easier for you, by all means, please use it because it's easier when I'm just cutting straight lines, but that wasn't easy to get that cut out of there. But now that I have, I'm just going to sand it. Of course, we're going to use the back of this sign. Oh, actually, yeah, we are using the back of the sign. Okay, you guys, I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, we're going to use the back of the sign. We're going to start out by painting it in the Waverly Moss. I figured I thought about maybe doing it in pumpkin, but then I said, well, I got to put all the pumpkins and leaves in it, and that's just too much orange, and I didn't really want it to be black. And I try to reserve my red trucks for Christmas. So, the moss just won out. But of course, you guys do whatever you want, whatever matches your decor. Go ahead and paint your truck in that color, teal, gray, whatever you want to do. I added some white chalk paint to the moss just to lighten it up a little bit more. And now that I have everything painted, except for those wheels, because the tires actually, because we're going to paint those black, I'm going to take my 2 jumbo craft sticks and cut them in half. And then I took another craft stick and I cut it down to make just a little square. I wanted a little bit of elevation between the other 2 craft sticks that I'll be using. It wasn't quite enough, so I ended up taking one of the Dollar General tower blocks, the really big, thick, chunky ones, and I painted it silver and added it to those little craft stick pieces that I hot glued together. You'll see in just a little bit what I'm talking about and what I want to do with that. So I'm just going in with my Hello Hobby Black and I am going to paint my tires. I'm going to distress this whole piece because I have to. I love it. I cannot help it. And here you see me just giving this Hello Autumn a little coat of the Apple Barrel Matte White paint. So I've got my fenders all painted silver and we're going to just pop those in place using a little bit of hot glue to get that done. And then right there in the middle between the two craft sticks is where I want a little bit of elevation. So I'll go back and do that in just a little bit. I am getting my leaves placed down. And sometimes the leaves don't sit the way you want them to because of that plastic spine on the back. It makes them sit up. I want these to hot glue down flat. So I'm just going to pull that plastic spine off the back of the leaves. Some of them popped off really easy, and then some of them I had to work with a little bit, but I was able to get that plastic veining or spine off the back of that leaf. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm always happy and blessed to have you here. Welcome to all my brand new subscribers. Thank you so much for choosing D's Cute and Crafty. And to all my ride or dies who have been with me from the very beginning, I love you so much. Thank you for your support and for always coming back. So now that I got my leaves all hot glued in place where I want them, I'm kind of looking at my pumpkins, trying to figure out where do I want them, which ones do I want to use, where I'm going to place my greenery. I like to kind of get an idea by putting things in place and see if I like it and then make it more permanent with the hot glue. So that looks good to me. I'm going to start getting that middle piece in place that I talked to you about using that large tumbling tower block from Dollar General. And then I took my folk art, and I think it's the burnt sienna, and I just dry brushed everything. I dry brushed the truck, the fender, the words. I did not dry brush the tires. I did sand those down to give them a rustic look along with everything else. But here you see me just giving this a really quick dry brush in that folk art paint. And I have my little bead buttons is what I'm calling them. We're going to make lights with that. We're going to do our tail lights with that. These are some little beads that were on a mat. I got that mat from Burlington Coat Factory, and it was a lot of beads put together to make that mat. And these just worked out perfectly. They just look like little buttons, and I thought I would use those for the tail lights. And I did sand those down as well to distress them around the edges. I'm just going to put that hanger back on, and then I'm going to add 4 brown beads to it. You'll see that in the reveal. And this little beauty is done and ready to be displayed. How cute is she? Just bursting with that harvest flavor and flair. I love it. And I hope you guys do too. If you're enjoying this content, please don't forget to give it a big fat thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that you're enjoying it and they share me out so others can enjoy it and it helps my channel grow. Thank you so much, you guys. Moving on to DIY number 2, I have one of these large cathedral signs from the Dollar Tree. It had a welcome word on it, and I already took that off camera. I have one of the tag signs left from summer, 2 craft sticks, my Rust-Oleum chiffon cream, my folk art in burnt sienna. We're going to be doing some hand lettering, so I have all my markers and my pencil and my eraser. I have some more of the Dollar Tree pumpkins, two of the white sweater pumpkins, and two of the little red pumpkins that come from, or red, orange pumpkins that come from the picks. I've got some sunflowers, and these are from the Bloom Room collection from Joann's. And then again, more of the leaves. Some of the leaves are Dollar Tree, some of the leaves are Joann's. So now what I'm going to do, oh, I forgot to show you my ribbon. I have this beautiful fall ribbon from Walmart. It reminds me of candy corn. And then I have the other ribbon that's just the maize kind of deep, rich yellow that is so pretty for fall. And that came from Walmart as well. So I'm going to take that tag sign and I'm going to use it to make my cathedral sign bigger and longer. And so I can get my hand lettering done on the tag sign. So I had to add something to the cathedral sign to do that. So I just measured it out so that it is as long and wide as the cathedral sign. And now I'm just going to cut that piece off that I don't need. I'm going to trim it up with my wire cutters, and then I'm going to trim it up a little more with my knife, and then I'm going to sand it with my Gator sander that I got from Walmart. And this is how I do all of my hand cutting with those three things. Just going to cover that bottom piece of sign with some craft paper so everything stays nice and neat. And then I have my two jumbo craft sticks. I just cut the rounded end off of both of the sticks so that I can put them together in the middle. Now normally I would put my craft sticks in the back of my sign. For this one I'm going to put them in the front of the sign. Just going to hot glue those on, and I'm doing that to give myself a little more stability as far as stapling down my greenery. I just felt like it needed a little bit more to staple to than just the sign. Here I'm taking my ruler and I am using the width of the ruler to determine the trim of this sign. So as wide as the ruler is will be as wide as our trim work will be. And now I'm going to just add my lines because well, I didn't need to add them because I'm going to paint over it. So I'm going to have to add them again. But I'm going to put lines, of course, you guys, on the front of this sign so that I can write evenly when I get ready to write my wording on the sign. Just going in with that folk art paint, the burnt sienna, and I am just trimming out my sign. So I wrote, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." That is what is written on my sign. I do that in pencil, and then I go back in with my Sharpie marker, and I make it all nice, neat, permanent, and crisp so you can read it. And I just put a napkin over the rest of the lettering so as not to smudge it with my arm and my hand as I'm writing above it. This came out so beautiful, and it is without a doubt, hands down, my favorite of the three that I'm showing you today. I just loved incorporating some fall decor that had some religious meaning to me um, for decor in my home. It just looks so beautiful. The end result, I have that burst of fall color, but then I have my Bible verse on there that I absolutely love. So this one is my favorite. Now I've got my wording down, I'm just sanding around it just to make it look distressed and old. And now I'm adding my greenery, just looking at placement for where I want things. And I'm just cutting that sunflower off of the stem. Just going to place that in the middle. And I've got my leaves off to the right and to the left. And I'm cutting down the pumpkin stems just a little bit because I felt they were kind of long. So I just cut them down. And here we are with our placement. I like to do that before I hot glue anything or staple anything. And look at this beautiful ribbon from Walmart. It is so pretty. pretty. I absolutely love it. I probably should have got two, but I didn't. Just going to make a bow. Just going to double up my ribbon like I love to do when making a bow. I'm going to set that to the side and I'm going to staple on my greenery. I'm going to hot glue my leaves down and then I will hot glue my sunflower in the center of those leaves. And I am going to go back and trim everything up on the bottom, the flower, so that you could see the words, because that is what is the most important thing to me about this sign is the wording. So we can't cover that up. So I'm just fussing with the leaves and pushing them up out of the way. Then we'll get our pumpkins hot glued in place. And now we're going to take that big, beautiful bow we made. And I was debating about, did I want it down on the bottom with the flowers, the greenery, the leaves, the pumpkins? Was that too much? It ended up being too much, so I decided I would put it at the top. And I wasn't sure if I wanted it centered or to the side. But then the hanger caught my eye, and I thought, I'm just going to center it. There's already a hole there. I love tying my bows onto my pieces. So I'm just going to tie it at the top using the hole that was already provided for me. I'll also go back and add some more jute cord through that same hole so that this piece can be hung for display. Absolutely beautiful. I'm just fussing with my bow. I'm going to take that little centerpiece of ribbon and just tuck it. It's wired so it will sit the way I want it to and cover up that little piece of jute that I used to tie my bow together. I dovetailed my ends and I'm fluffing everything out. And she's done. She is ready to be displayed. Oh my goodness, I love it. Absolutely love it. Moving on to DIY number 3 and the last one for this video. You are going to need one of these Dollar Tree wood crates. I chose the one that has the pumpkins on either side. I have a jumbo craft stick. I have the wood dowels from 2 of the Dollar Tree easels. I have some little pumpkins that I cut out of MDF board, but I'm showing you here that you don't have to do that. You can use the Dollar Tree clip-on pumpkins. And I have one of the long Dollar Tree signs. This is left from summer, their paradise sign. I am going to cover that up with some craft paper because I'm not fighting with that glitter. So I'm going to take my craft stick. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm showing you that I have the Deco Art burnt sienna, and then I have my other paint in the color Pueblo. I've got some chalk paint from Hello Hobby in slate gray and also in black. Now I'm going to take my craft sticks and I'm just going to cut this middle one down a little bit, just cutting the rounded edges off. You don't have to, it's just me being, I don't know, extra. And then I'm going to add that one to the middle, and then I'm going to take my other 2 smaller craft sticks and add them on each side. And here you see me taking my craft paper to get this covered up. Now I flipped it over and I'm going in with my Dixie Belle Fluff White Chalk Paint. Just going to give it a nice coat of that paint. I'm going to take my ruler once again, letting the width of the ruler determine the width of my edging or my trim. And we're going to go around all four sides with that ruler. Now that that's done, I am going to start making my plaid trim very loosely. This is my idea of how to make plaid trim. I know there's 101 videos on YouTube about how to do buffalo check. This is not that. This is me just loosely trying to make plaid my own way. So if you guys have something better you want to do, absolutely go ahead and do that. You could actually use ribbon. I've done that before to trim out a piece. And I do have buffalo check ribbon, but I wanted this particular DIY to look hand painted, and it absolutely does. I wanted just that, I don't know, that rustic hand painted look to this piece. So I am going to make my own plaid, and I started out with a gray line in the middle, and I'm very much being careful about staying within my lines. I'm not putting any paint outside of those pencil lines that I drew with that ruler. So I put gray down first, straight down the middle of each part of the sign, and then went back in with some black straight down on either side of the gray on all four sides. Then I went back in with black and gray, and I made some little horizontal lines down the side of each side of the sign. All four sides, I did those little small lines of gray paint and some black as well. So I just wanted the pumpkin pieces off of that crate. So I cut those off and I trimmed them up and sanded them down, and then I painted them with the Dixie Belle Fluff. I painted my easel pieces, those dowels, with the Dixie Belle Fluff, and then I went in with my hand lettering and I wrote pumpkins, apple cider, and hay rides. This piece was inspired by my placemats. That is what my fall placemats look like, and I thought this would be pretty if it were a sign, but I didn't want to take one of my placemats and make it into a sign because I only have four and I need all four of those for my setting on my table. So I thought I can make this, and here it is. I love how this turned out. It's so rustic, it's so cute, it's giving me that fall vibe, hand painted just the way I wanted it to look. I love it. The trim just looks so cute to me. I don't know why. Probably because I did it myself and I didn't have to use ribbon. So we're just getting everything um, nice and permanent with that Sharpie. Pencil first, Sharpie second. That's how I do it. That way if I mess anything up with the pencil, I can erase it and fix it. Just going to take our Sharpie and get our arrow all filled in. You guys don't forget to give this video a big fat thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you are so inclined, I would love it if you'd share it out to friends and family. Thank you. So I'm going in and erasing all of my pencil marks. Make sure your Sharpie is completely dry before you try to erase your pencil marks off, or you'll end up with some black ugly smudges that you're going to have to paint over. Ask me how I know. There it is. Now we're just going to take our little pumpkins. One was painted in Pueblo, one was painted in the raw sienna, And then I just went in with some um, of the Dixie Belle fluff and made my little white lines on my pumpkins. We're just going to hot glue them down. Now I'm going to take my wooden dowels and I'm just going to frame this piece out. I'm going to add some twine to the back and she will be ready to be displayed. This was really easy. I love how it turned out. Little hot glue, little wood glue, and that'll get the job done. Gonna add a little bit of spackle because there's a hole on one of these dowels, and I meant to flip it over so the hole would be on the bottom and you wouldn't see it, but I've already got hot glued down, so I'm not going to rip it up. I'm just going to fill that hole in with some white spackle. I didn't even have to paint over it. It blended in seamlessly. Just going to sand it down just to make it rustic, just to stress it a little bit. And I'm measuring down 3.5 inches from the top, and that is where my handles are going to be placed for this tray. So we're not going to hang it up. See, I'm always surprised when I do my voiceovers because I usually have filmed so far in advance that when I do my voiceover, I kind of forgot what I did. So yeah, this is a tray, you guys. This is not a hanging piece, but if you like to leave those handles off and make it a hanging piece, you do you. We're going to add some hot glue and some wood glue and get our little pumpkin handles on. You could put some little feet on it if you want. I did not. And now she's ready to be displayed. You could actually do it as a leaner because that's what this is doing right here, just leaning against the wall. And if you want to know where that green braided, I don't know, mat, or it's almost like a tray because it's got handles on it, where that came from, I picked that up from the Target Bullseye Spot for $5 or $3. I'm not sure. 3 or 5. And they had it in that green, and they also had it in a rusty pumpkin orange, but I thought the green would pop nicely, so I grabbed one. But here is the final reveal of everything that I've made for you guys today. You know what I need you to do. As always, comment down below. Let me know which one is your favorite of the 3 that I'm bringing you today. I would love to hear from you in the comments. You guys, I've got so many comments on so many videos. It takes me a minute to get back to you, but I promise I do read your comments and I will respond. So please talk to me. I absolutely would love it. Thank you once again for joining me for this video, for subscribing, for liking my content, for sharing it out, for your support, all that you do. Thank you. I am so happy to have you here. As always, you guys, I need you to be blessed. Stay safe. And until I see you in my next one, craft something beautiful today. Bye.